It is your Classic Metal Show right here on theclassicmetalshow.com. That is Corrosion of Conformity from the In the Arms of God release. That one is called Rise, River, Rise. And on the phone right now, we've got one of my favorite guitarists out there and a guy that on several occasions has given me some of my favorite backstage rock moments. It is the guitarist of COC. It is Woody Weatherman. Woody, how are you, man?
Hey, buddy. How y'all doing up there?
Good, man. Woody, I'm going to start with a story, and I don't know if you'll remember this or not, and it's not necessarily the best story, but you might remember this.
Okay. This
was whatever year it would have been in Cleveland. You guys were playing with Machine Head at the Odeon, and you had invited me to come and hang with you guys after the show. And, when we had done an interview, and I did, and I brought a friend of mine who was a giant COC fan.
Okay.
And you could not have been cooler. You were you led us to the beer, and you're like, hey, drink whatever you want, eat whatever you want, just hang out and, have fun, right?
Right.
Well, my buddy grabbed a beer and didn't have a bottle opener for the beer, and he took the beer and he wedged it against your clothes case and popped the beer and just sprayed all of your show clothes with beer. And it was one of those, you were totally cordial about it. You were like, that's okay, man. That's cool. That's cool. But inside I could just tell you were like, motherfuck.
Well, it's probably not the first time that's happened. I'm sure the stage gear probably already smelled like beer anyway.
Exactly, man. Well, what do you got to say, man? It is, after a little while of hiatus, and I mean 5-6 years ago-ish of hiatus, COC is back in a lot of different forms. There's obviously you guys have been touring and recording 2 great albums as a 3-piece, and then and then there's been the COC Blind out there, and now there is COC with Pepper coming back and out there. I guess a good place to start is, why so much activity all of a sudden? What changed that got you guys all so motivated to get back with all of the different versions?
Well, the 3-piece stayed kind of busy there for a little bit, and it was during that whole time, we're all chatting with Pep, and we're just waiting on the right moment to get back together and get this lineup revved back up, and it's happened. I mean, this year we've been busy. We've been over to Europe 2 or 3 times, and just finished a run of the U.S. with the Clutch guys, and as you know, we're getting ready to bust out again on a little headline run, and just signed a deal with Nuclear Blast. So we're back in fine form, man. We're ready to do it, man.
Excellent. Well, and the funny thing, and I don't want to make it sound like I didn't think you were in fine form, because I would argue to anybody that wants to argue with me that the last 2, the 3-piece records, 9 and the self-titled, are about as good, if not better, than just about everything else in the catalog.
Well, we kind of kicked it. That was sort of back to the original stuff, and we were doing. We had an album that came out back in the mid '80s called Animosity, and so that was the lineup we were doing, And while we were waiting on Pepper to get the time, and we, of course, during that time, the 3-piece version of the band did a few festivals here and there, overseas with the Down guys. Of which Pepper, of course, is a member with Phil from Pantera and whatnot. But Pepper would come up and we would jam some songs live, and it was just a matter of time. But before we just decided to get back at it with the 4-piece, and I tell you, it's been a pleasure being able to do that and get back to all the classic songs, from those records that we made together with Pepper and stuff, and of course, the most exciting part of it is thinking about new stuff. We're starting to write riffs and starting to think about the next record, and just enjoying life, man. You got to.
Sure. Now, I want to go back a little bit before we talk about what's going on today, because I personally have always been of the assumption that you guys were right on the cusp of really breaking through to that the next level with Wise Blood. I mean, not that you guys didn't have success, but Wise Blood just felt like it was going to be the big record. And you had the tour with Metallica, which didn't hurt, and everything was going right. And then for whatever reason, people did not acknowledge. I don't even want to say people said it was bad, but they didn't acknowledge either America's Volume Dealer or In the Arms of God. Those just seemed to kind of come and went without
Right.
nearly as much fanfare. What do you think in your mind happened with those two records that people did not see them as the same as they saw Wise Blood?
You know, it's hard to say. I mean, you know, probably label changes, you know, could affect some stuff like that. Maybe lack of the same amount of radio airplay that like the previous records had. You know, who knows? I mean, to us, the important thing was we still get to do it, and we still get to play live and have a good time. And those are great records in my opinion. Actually, there's some really good songs on
Sure.
Volume Dealer and the In the Arms of God. You know, the last couple of records we did together with Pepper. But you know, who knows, man? I mean, you know. There's always the future to look forward to, is what I got to say. You know?
Sure, definitely is, man. Well, and the future, I mean, I'm curious what the response has been so far. You know, I mean, certainly I'm sure the shows are great, and I can't wait to see you guys in Cleveland, you know, later in the month. But
Right.
what I'm curious about is how, for as you guys as a band, I guess, how has Pepper coming back into the fold felt? Is it just, you know, getting back on the bike, or is it different because you guys have spent a lot of years apart, or how has it exactly gelled together?
Well, you know, even though we weren't technically playing together, we were, you know, gabbing with each other the whole time. You know, we're talking, we're deciding what we're going to do, and like I said, you know, a minute ago, we were even playing some shows together. You know, some songs together, and so we knew what we had to do. And I think basically, you know, getting back with Pep, the highlight of that is being able to play these songs that we haven't played for years, and just whenever we first decided to do it, we were going overseas. We did a little European run together just to kind of feel it out and see how it went. It went gangbusters. We wound up going back to Europe twice before we you know, even thought about doing the States. But man, it's been phenomenal. You know, it feels good, it feels right, and you know, the Nuclear Blast guys stepped up, offered us a deal, which we took, and so we're getting ready to work for Nuclear Blast here for a record or two and see how that goes.
Sure. Now, who was it at Nuclear Blast? Is it Monty Connor that? Because he's always been. I know Monty personally, and he's always been one that trumpets you guys. And you know, so was it Monty that kind of rang the bell and
it's
said,
Monty,
"Hey"?
you know, we know Monty from way back. You know, back when he was, you know, the Roadrunner days and all that kind of stuff. But he's the one that you know, called us up and said, "Hey, you know, we want to do a record. Let's talk about it." We said, "Hell yeah!" And lo and behold, we're working for Nuclear Blast, man. We're gonna do some records.
Very cool, man. Now, what is the new stuff like? Because obviously, the 3-piece, it doesn't have a completely different sound than the 4-piece, but there's more of a, I don't know, slightly punk vibe to the 3-piece albums than there are the Pepper albums. Is it going to be? Is the new music that you're working on closer to what the Pepper album sounded like, or is it closer to what you guys have done the last at least 2 records?
Right now, I would say probably, you know, as always, kind of a combination of it all. But I mean, I think in our minds, now obviously we've got riffs in our head now. We don't have any songs written yet and so forth. We're just kind of getting started on it. But I will say that we kind of want to pick up where In the Arms of God left off. You know, I think that was a really strong record, and we were headed in a positive direction there. And I think we're going to kind of pick up there, you know, and just expound upon that.
Right. Now, is this a long-term? I don't even want to call it a reunion because you guys never really like broke up, so to speak. But is this a?
No, this is it, man. We're doing it. We're not going to do any more 3-piece stuff. I mean, we're committed to this. We're having a blast, and you know, this is the COC. It's rocking, man. This is what does it, man. You know.
Very cool. Now, is Pepper still with Down as well? I mean, does this go around Down schedule, or does Down go around this schedule, or what?
Well, you know, everybody that's in Down has like 3 other bands.
Right.
So, you know, it's like, I think Down kind of works around everybody else's schedule, you know, and you know, they get out and they do some stuff. I know that they're planning on doing another EP at some point, maybe next year. You know, not exactly sure what's going on with that, but man, you know, I mean, I think, you know, Phil obviously has got several bands, Superjoint, and heck, I don't even know how many.
Yeah, he's got about 10 bands.
and you know, Jimmy Bauer, he's got the I Hate God, and course, he's in Superjoint as well. So I mean, everybody's got a lot of bands going on. So
Sure.
I don't see there being any trouble with it.
Very cool. Now, it's obviously a different game than it used to be, Woody, as far as the business of music. You know, is it still profitable for you guys to make music, or do you make music because of the passion and tour more to make the living?
Well, you know, we do it because we like it. I mean, it's fun, but I mean, you know, people used to go on tour in order to promote their record.
Right.
You know? I mean, that was sort of like what you did. You know, you went on tour, you made a record, and then you went on tour to promote that record. And it's kind of like vice versa now. Like you make a record so that you can go on tour. You know?
Right.
Because I mean, let's face it. You know, people can grab your music off the internet, and you know, I mean, I think that has a lot to do with kind of the resurgence of vinyl, though. To be honest, a lot of people want to have something they can hold in their hands too. You know, so you've got the people that are going to snatch it, you know, off the digital realm and enjoy it that way, and you know, that's just the reality of what's going on. But you know, then you know, vinyl's sort of like the savior here lately. Of you know, you got to release your records on vinyl because people grab that. You know.
Sure, and the thing that's cool too is this kind of the audience for this kind of music, for metal and just driving hard rock type stuff. They're the ones that the hardcore still do seem to buy the music, where it just seems like, you know, now you see bands on Billboard, not that Billboard means anything anymore, but the bands that you do see are these kind of bands. You're not seeing,
That's true.
You know, you still see bands that you never thought that you would see. You know, they might be number 110 on the chart or something, but they're on the chart, where in the old days they never would have charted.
They never would have been. Of course, it doesn't take as many records, you know, sold to get on the charts these days. But
right.
But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, man. The heavy metal, hard rock audience is really the most loyal audience there is out there. I mean, you know, you can just show up at any show, and there's people there that are like, man, I've been a fan for 30 years, you know. And I'm like, wow, man, that means everything, you know. And we can't do it without you, you know. That's the whole reason we're here, you know. And of course, you got the guys that are like, hey, this is I've never even heard of the band. Somebody drugged me to the show, but it was awesome, you know. And so that's always cool too, you know.
Right. How many? And you might not even know the answer to this question, but you know, as the years have gone by, has the audience stayed, you know, relatively even with you as far as age, or do you see this? Because I know a lot of bands are seeing this new wave of a lot younger kids that are getting turned on to their music. Are you seeing that as well?
We are. You know, like I said, we just got done with this run. We just looped around the whole, you know, North America with the Clutch guys, who we, you know, had the pleasure of touring with on and off, you know, through the years. But you see, of course, you know, the guys that have been around forever, you know, the guys with the long beards and stuff.
Right.
But you see a lot of young people too, and they're digging it, and they're discovering it, and it's awesome, you know. So that's the next generation right there.
Very cool, man. Well, Woody, what can we expect from the set list on this tour? Any surprises, or I guess you don't want to tell me if there are, but you know, you know,
I'm going to divulge all the surprises right now. Nah, dude, I tell you, you're going to hear. You're not going to leave wondering why we didn't play the songs you wanted to hear. We're going to play a lot of stuff. We're going to play a long time because we're going out headlining. You know, if we go out as a support act, obviously we don't have the time to play everything we want to play. But when we go out as a headline act, I mean, we have, you know, we have a big library to choose from. So you're going to hear something from all those records. You know, all the stuff that Pepper's been on, and you know, we might even work up a new thing or two to, you know, throw out, you know, idea-wise and stuff, because that's sort of like our game right now. We're writing music, so there may be a new riff or two that gets thrown in just to see what people think about it. I don't know. We'll see.
Excellent. Well, if I have my voice for the Cleveland show, if you could play the one that we opened with, Rise River Rise, that would make my Millennium such a good song.
That is a good song, man. We just played New Orleans over Halloween night, and I kind of wish we'd played that song there because it sort of would have tied in pretty well. But,
sure.
But yeah, that's a great song. Well, I'll take that under consideration.
All right, sounds good, man. Well, Woody, what am I missing that you want people to know about COC, and where can they find out more about you online and all that stuff?
Well, you know, the usual. I mean, you know, we're just extremely stoked to be able to still be here and and doing our thing and being able to go out on a headline run and do this. It's just it's very humbling. You know, we owe so much to the fans that keep showing up and all that, and keep your eye out for a new record, man, on Nuclear Blast coming up. I think it's going to be out in 2016.
Okay,
we're working on it, so that's the plan. We'll see how that goes on. But come see us on the road, man. We're going to be there.
Absolutely, man. Well, Woody, as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick the closing track and maybe tell us a story about it. So what would you like us to wrap this one up with?
Are you talking about a Corrosion song or
yeah.
Or anything?
Yeah, it could be anything if you want, but I assume Corrosion would be probably best for you.
Okay, well, heck, shoot, I don't know. How about The Door off Wise Blood, man? I always love playing that live. That's a fun one, man. It's like right there's the door. MF, get out of here.
Right, exactly. Well, we've all said that one before, and I guess we'll probably all say it again, but let's check it out right now. It is The Door. It is Corrosion of Conformity right here on your Classic Metal Show.